Hi guys, this is a video I've been wanting to make for quite a while, just showing the cider apples that I'm trying to grow in the north of Scotland. I did a bit of research a couple of years ago to try and find out what kind of varieties would grow really well in Scotland, and I really didn't find very much, so you know what, you just get on with it and you see how you get on. So what I've deliberately done is tried to plant quite a few more apples than I have space for, presuming that one or two will do better than others, in which case there'll be a bit of redundancy and we keep the best ones. So that's kind of the plan. The guys that I got my apple trees from is a guy down at a place called Welsh Mountain Cider. They've got their own website, welshmountainsider.com. So I think the trees are doing really well, which I really hope they would. So a big shout out to them for just so far so good. Well delighted. No idea if they're going to fruit or not. So time will tell with that. So part of this video, what I wanted to do was just give you a little bit of footage of planting the trees a couple of years ago, any other little updates that I might have had just along the way, but that's not too exciting. None of it is, probably. And part of the project was to try and make some space in the garden. Not that we've got a very big garden, but it meant digging out an old cherry tree. It was just a flowering cherry, so it was pretty pointless, right in the middle of the garden, so we dug that out, so that was quite a job, so maybe get some footage of that. So hope you enjoy it. Say if you've got any comments, especially for the kind of Scottish element of it, we up north, up here, has anyone ever even tried to grow cider apples? I don't know, but in any case, that's the plan. We'll see how it goes, and I don't know, come back here if you remember, and I'll keep you posted of how I'm getting on. If you guys anywhere out there are trying to do something similar, then get in touch, because I'd love to hear what your experience is. What else? The varieties that I've grown, I'll give you a quick tour of the garden in a minute, and I'll shout out the different varieties. But if there's any that are glaringly that I'm missing, that you think, what, why have you not got a, whatever, then leave a comment below, and that would be good. Also want to give a shout out to Stephen Hayes. Anyone who's thinking about planting an orchard or grafting apple trees or anything like that, if you're doing any research on YouTube, you will find a whole host of fantastic videos from Stephen. So big shout out to him. Absolutely go and check his channel out. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so I've got a couple of helpers today, so I wouldn't say apologies for that. I think they add to it in a kind of nice kind of way. They're kind of being quietish just now, so it's in between trying to sort of
Daddy, Zach won't and go on the naughty step.
No kidding. So that's all from me just now, and from him. Bye. Ah dear. Right, what are we doing today, boys?
Cutting down the tree.
Cutting down the tree? Why?
It's too big and it's in the way in case we crash.
In case we crash what?
Our bikes.
Crash your bikes? Are we making space for something else?
Yes.
What are we making space for?
Trees.
For what?
Apple trees.
Apple trees.
Apple trees.
That's right, cider apple trees. That's the next project. So fingers crossed. Poor that wee cherry tree's got to go too. It's been there for years and it's not done anything. Anyway, what a lovely day it is.
Yeah. What's going on here? Where's my cherry tree gone? I think there it is. We could have a bonfire. It's bonfire night. What are you doing? Making a big mess of our nice grass.
Look how much it wobbles, watch.
Did that before.
It is moving. It is actually moving.
Yeah.
That's it all day. Anyway.
Right then, we'll take a bit of footage later when it's down, yeah?
Look inside.
Lovely.
Well, we're going to put the body somewhere.
You might find some bodies. Some that I did earlier. Right then, see you. How are you getting on?
It's a bit unfair. Good?
Are you a bit tired?
Yeah, I'm knackered.
So, tree's gone. Grass is going back down, sort of.
It's gone down exactly how I took it off.
Yeah, there's a wee gap there. Is that where the tree came out?
There's 2 bits left over.
Right, coming in then.
Dram time. Alright, let's have a quick tour of the garden and see if we can pick out these new apple trees. That is Tompat, and beside it we have Brown's apple, and beside that we have some M26 rootstock, and here we've got a Katie apple, it's a nice Scottish variety. Scooting around here we have our old favourite James Grieve, which is just coming out. Absolutely beautiful, very late spring we're having. And we have Somerset Red Streak, and this one is Bramley seedling. We're going to move that a couple of feet next year, I think. And we're coming around here, that's where the old cherry tree used to be. And here we have Kingston Black with their cages, keep the kids out. And we have Black Dabinet. And I think we had Somerset Red Streak, didn't we? Around here, I don't know the name of this one, very bad disease, I have to get rid of it. And around here we have Ashmead Kernel, and this one is called Rubinet, which is supposed to be beautiful, ain't doing much yet. And our M25 rootstocks for putting in a James Grieve into over there. And last of all we have Yarlington Mill. So I think that's us. Good, I've got a little helper today. Thank you, David, for this. Quick tour of the garden with the apple trees. This is the first one. This is a Tompat, which I think is a bitter, sharp apple. All of these apples are only a couple of years old, maybe 3 years old. We've had them for a couple of years. This one here is a Brown's apple, a brown apple. And the third one here, which is doing really well, is called Katie apple, which apparently I think it's a Swedish variety that grows well in the north of Scotland. Okay, so we're getting some proper footage of that. And there's one or two other little rootstocks that I've got growing here, which are M26. So the idea is to do some grafting potentially in future years. I had a go at it when they were just little babies, but they failed. So I think they were just too young, and I wasn't very good at it. Okay, stop. Okay, right. Do you want to talk about this one? Okay, this one's a famous Scottish variety called James Grieve. Where's all the apples? Well, we've had hardly any fruit on it this year, but it had a major haircut last year, so I'm not overly surprised by that. But it's looking okay now, I think. Which way do you want to go? This way? Come around here. So back to more cider varieties. This one here is Somerset Red Streak, and it's doing pretty well. It's already up to nearly 6 feet tall. Come around. This is not Katie apple. This is Bramley's. Bramley seedling. Can you look? Make sure you're in focus and everything. So these are, yeah. Again, I moved this tree just a couple of meters, just over, just because they're all so close together. I know it's ridiculous, but that's the plan, and this is the Bramley. Okay, stop. Okay. Now this one I'm really excited about. This is an eater called Rubinet, and it's looking really well. We used to have a different tree here that was diseased, and I basically I killed it when I tried to just cut out the rot. So it's looking really good, a really tasty eater. I don't know anything about it other than it's supposed to be delicious. So a delicious eater here called Rubinet. Around here, this one here is an Ashmead Kernel, which is another hardy eater, I think, for Scotland, and should do okay. Okay, David, round here. This one here is a very old variety called, can you see it, this one, David? Called Court Penduplat, which is a very traditional old, I guess it's French. I don't know much more about it. I guess it's an eater. Who knows? But anyway, so I'm growing that one. And beside Court Penduplat are 3 more rootstocks. These are M25 rootstocks, which I'm just going to have a play around with one day and try grafting over some other varieties and see if they take. Our garden's just not big enough for all of these, you'll have gathered that, but the idea is to have a bit of redundancy so that... Are you concentrating, David?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and round here, these are the last ones now, these are my favourite ones. Okay, stand back and have a good look at the what do you call that? That tree, that's not an apple tree. It's a rowan. We planted that when we first moved into the house about 10 years ago, and I'm afraid its days are numbered. Whoever thinks to put a tree right in the middle of a lawn and then have two boys who can't even kick a football about, great big tree in the way, completely hopeless. So that's coming out. Around here now this is my favourite, I think, out of all of my trees. This is called Yarlington Mill, and again it was the same height as some of the others, but these three on the line here are on M25 rootstocks. So the idea is that these are going to grow really into really big trees, and we'll just have to wait and see how we get on. But it's come to a height now where I'm just not going to do anything with it and just leave it, and hopefully maybe come next spring we'll have some blossom. Keep going. Two more. This one is...
Rubbish.
Rubbish?
Can't even grow.
It's doing alright. It's not rubbish. It is black dabinet.
Black
Another
dabinet.
bittersweet.
Very
cider
fancy.
That was a little caterpillar. I'm not very good at squashing caterpillars. I don't like to do that.
Blah.
But, quite happily ping it in someone else's garden. David, are you
Bad
doing?
boy.
Are you getting bored? Looks
No.
like it.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'll keep going. Right here is the last one. If ever you do some research on cider apple trees, they say Kingston Black is supposed to be fantastic. I've heard other reports that say it's not a very good cropper, so basically whether we've got space for all three of these great big trees, if you come back here, David, you can have a look down the line.
What have,
From over here perhaps?
what have they done to their lane?
Do you think YouTube want to see the lane?
No.
No. So how about we have a look? Can I do it? Okay. Okay. Thank you for your help.
In case I drop it. Bye bye.
Okay. Right, well that was a bit of a... I think we might redo this footage. Why don't they go and fight? Anyway, so the plan is that we've got... This is maybe a good point to mention why we've got all these cages here. People have asked, you know, do you have trouble with deer or something, or rabbits eating the trees? No, it's quite simply to protect the trees from these children, which so far has been really good. But actually, what I was going to say was that it might have been an idea in retrospect, instead of making so many cages for these trees, just to simply make two of them. And why would I want two? To put you in. Just to kind of ignore these exhibits. Should have done that years ago. Yeah, kind of suits you. Okay. Well, it seemed funny at the time. Do you think? Yeah. You know what? It is so tempting. Okay, so I guess that's it. So well done if you hung around through all of that. Okay. What is it? Oh dear. Is it Mosswood Homebrew? Is it Mosswood Homebrew? I can't remember. I think it is. That says something like, I can't even go for a dump without being interrupted. Introduced, I was going to say. Anyway, let's just say bye to YouTube, and then we'll see what we can do as a family. Good plan? You ready?